What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Yeah.Whatever podcast. My name is Frank Helmstetter. Thank you so much for checking out the Yeah.Whatever podcast for the first time on video, okay? See, I have been wanting to do this kind of thing for so long. And if this comes to fruition and you are seeing the final product, congratulations, because this kind of commentary and having an actual video setup to do it with, it has been something that I've been wanting to do for a while. So I really appreciate you guys checking this out. I have a SoundCloud for all podcasts. I also am starting a YouTube channel, which is presumably where you will be watching this. So, go ahead and like my SoundCloud audios or my podcast. Go ahead and follow me on SoundCloud. And if you wouldn't mind, please subscribe to me on YouTube at Yeah.Whatever Podcast. We here at Yeah.Whatever Podcast, we are here to talk about political and social things primarily. I tend to be a little more left-leaning of a person, so the things we're going to talk about are a little bit, obviously have a little bit of a left-leaning lens. So just know that going in. I really do admire feedback, and I also admire other opinions. So, feel free to drop your opinions. Please comment below what you want to see me talk about in future videos. Please, all of that good stuff. Please let me know any suggestions or anything you would like me to talk about. It is much appreciated. And go ahead and subscribe to my channel, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please leave a like. All right, so we are at our first episode of the recorded Yeah.Whatever podcast. Again, my name is Frank. Thank you so much for joining us. This week, we are going to be covering quite a few different things. First up on the docket, we have a little bit of a kind of like funny, honestly kind of horrible take from our good friend, Charlie Kirk. He is a right-wing political personality, and he runs Turning Point USA. Very interesting individual, a lot of bigoted ideas, including what he said this week about Simone Biles. Simone Biles, if you don't know, I'm not sure if I say her last name correctly, but Simone is a Olympic athlete, one of the best gymnastics representatives ever to grace the sport. An amazing Olympian, already has proved herself to be one of the best, if not the best. And this week, a lot of conservatives had a problem with Simone taking some time off and not choosing to participate in the rest of the Olympic activity. She cited mental health reasons, which is a real thing and something that a lot of people in America struggle with. But Charlie Kirk has been trending this morning because he had some interesting things to say about Simone's decision. So let's go ahead and watch that together. Let's go ahead and just admire here as this ad plays the ratio of likes to dislikes on this video. We've got 5,000 likes and 5,800 dislikes. So a lot of people took issue with these comments for good reason. So we'll see what he has in store for us. Good old Charlie Kirk. Here we go.
So Simone Biles, I don't know her politics. I just know that she's, shown on television a lot. I don't know if she was ever sexually assaulted or abused. So I don't know what she's been.
So another thing about Simone is that she is a sexual assault survivor and has talked about this. Something that is really important for us to embrace more. I think when people are ready to talk about that kind of incident in their life, it's very powerful for them. And so for someone who's a personality and very, very famous for her Olympic capabilities, for her to make that announcement and tell people is a very vulnerable thing. But yet we have Charlie here questioning, I don't know if she's been sexually assaulted. So it's a really good start here for Charlie, already, questioning the stories of women everywhere, apparently. He needs some tangible, palpable proof, because listening to women just isn't an option. So let's continue to watch.
In that, sincerely. However, I'm going to say this. Don't show up to the Olympics and compete if you're not ready for the big moments. This is not high school This is not college. This is the Olympics. It's bigger than yourself, Simone. So Simone Biles, who's obviously a very talented gymnast, decided not to compete in the gold medal competition. Now, she probably could have just competed and just kind of checked the boxes and they would have got a gold medal. Simone Biles says, this Olympic Games, I wanted to be for myself when I came in, and I felt like I was still doing it for other people, as she cried after the team event on Tuesday. So that just, it like hurts my heart, because doing what I love has been kind of taken away from me to please other people. Yeah, that's the point, Simone Biles. You're representing your nation, you're selfish sociopath. You kidding me?
Dude, what? What kind of take is this, dog? Like, at least she was, I mean, first of all, Olympic athletes, ex-Olympic athletes and current ones have congratulated and acknowledged the bravery and like the truth to what Simone cited as the reason why she was no longer participating, as a real thing. And people were very proud of her. But then on the other end, there's people like Charlie Kirk who take time out of their day to criticize people for literally doing what is best for their conscience, for their mental health. And that is just as, if not more important than physical health. We know this. We know that our generation, our current generation, and Simone is within that generation, is the most depressed and anxious generation in recorded history. We know this. And so as this becomes more of a prominent and more well-recognized issue, mental health, we need to be able to have leniency for people who decide of their own volition to not participate. And yet, despite this decision, Charlie Kirk now thinks that Simone is a sociopath for deciding not to participate in the United States effort to win a gold medal, of which they already have several. So, Charlie, I have a question for you, my guy. Have you ever done anything remotely close to what it takes to be an Olympic athlete? No, you haven't. You look like a guy who had his face ran over by one of those things that smooths out asphalt, you know? And you're sitting over here telling people that they should, participate and stick to their commitments. Hey, Charlie, have you ever done anything remotely close to what Simone has achieved already? She has already proven herself to be the best, one of the best, if not the best, in her sport. And once she has a little bit of a mental health hiccup, is bravely willing to admit that that is the reason she's no longer participating. Is it really being a sociopath to take care of yourself? Hey, yeah, libtards. It's me, conservative man over here. It is now sociopathic. You are a psychopath if you decide to take care of yourself. What a great take, Charlie. You are such a smart fella.
Do something stupid and get hurt. It's just not worth it. Especially when you have like three amazing athletes that can step up to the plate and do it. So you know who has the gold medal? Russia.
Oh, no. Oh, my God, bro. Well, we just lost the Cold War. It's been over for 35 years, but we just lost it because we have given the Russian Olympic Committee the win. They have the gold medal. This is atrocious, America. Okay? We don't want no commie red bastards beating us in our Olympic sports. Like, dude, Charlie, are you kidding me, dog? Is this something you really care about to the point that you are literally fuming that Russia is beating us in a sport? I mean, look, it's because all of Charlie Kirk's talking points surround pro-capitalist narrative, and therefore anytime Russia is involved in a conversation, they are persecuted. And so he's leveraging his point here and solidifying it by saying not only is Simone a sociopath for not participating and taking care of herself, not only is he a sociopath, but she's also letting those commie bastards win. And then all of his like 15-year-old high school students from rural areas of the country / 50-year-olds who watch his channel all get fuming. They're all fuming in their chairs. They're like, you're right, Charlie. Simone, that's selfish. And we're going to let these commie bastards beat us? Hey, Charlie, Give me a break. Your takes are terrible.
I have to go look at these 4'11" Russian Olympians chewing on their gold medals, smirking at the Americans. I'm not okay with that. But honestly, that's where we're headed.
Dude,
We are a generation of weak people like Simone Biles. Again.
oh my God. Bro, you literally look like a high school quarterback who got put in a microwave, threw an American flag hat on his head, and called it good. And you're out here saying that the best Olympian to ever grace her sport is lazy and entitled. So, you know, Charlie, I would go as far as to say that you literally have no idea what you're talking about. You have no basis or any sort of credibility to talk about what you are talking about. And also, here's a question. Why? Why does it matter? Literally, why does it matter what Simone does? You could not know what's happening in the Olympics right now. Many people do not watch the Olympics, but he's taking time out of his day to not only criticize someone who is taking care of herself and has openly admitted that she is having an issue that needs to be dealt with, but he's also choosing to make it about Russia, as if we are literally still ducking under our desks, fearing that nukes are going to come from those commie bastards. I mean, bro, if you slapped on some 50s clothing onto Charlie Kirk, he would literally just be the embodiment of a white suburban dad who has a picket fence and beats his wife a little too much. I mean, what year are we living in, dog? Like, mental health is a real thing that needs to be taken care of. And I really think, once again, why? Why are you upset? Literally, it does not matter. It literally doesn't matter. You could just go on with your day. You know, we could talk about our crumbling infrastructure. We could talk about how conservatives have continually beaten to the ground anti-vaccine rhetoric and have coincidentally seen a spike in COVID cases and lockdowns once again. We could talk about how Republicans are fumbling the ball at every stage. We could also talk about how Democrats are fumbling the ball. I'm not a Democrat. I'm a leftist. It doesn't matter. But my point is, there are so many more pressing things to be talking about. And Charlie Kirk, who literally, once again, looks like a guy who played football for the first 2 years of high school and then was benched or on the C team, is over here talking about how Simone is lazy. How we are raising lazy athletes because she literally is having a mental health crisis and has taken time off. Nice, Charlie. What a brilliant take, my guy. Now watch this. I'm willing to bet that people will get on his case for this, at least some people, and he will come out and say, oh, I didn't really mean it as first of all, I didn't really mean it as how the left is saying, okay? I didn't really mean it like that. He's going to come out and do that, I promise. You just watch.
If she got all these mental health problems, don't show up. She's an incredible athlete. Of course she's an incredible athlete.
No, he ran it back.
She's probably the greatest gymnast of all time.
Lazy athletes like Simone Biles. He said that. 20 seconds later, she's a great athlete. I never said she wasn't a great athlete. This is conservatives in a box here. Consistently saying one thing and then literally immediately saying the other thing and saying that they didn't say the first thing. This happens all of the time. Just listen a little bit closer, guys. Listen just a little bit closer to what they say, and I promise you, 9 times out of 10, maybe not 9 times, 7 times out of 10, 70% of the time is my guess, they will say something and within the same argument contradict themselves. It happens all of the time. Listen, you might learn something.
Also, very selfish, she's immature, and she is a shame to the country. She's totally a sociopath. Of course she's a sociopath. Andrew says she's not a sociopath. What kind of person skips the gold medal match? Who does that? It's a shame to the nation. You just gave a gift to the Russians. Don't show up.
Bro, you literally... First of all, I know many conservatives who actually have good talking points. Charlie Kirk, you are not one of them. You want to talk about being a disgrace in your field? Look in a mirror, dog. You literally get destroyed in virtually every debate that you have. you run a foundation which is set on the fact that colleges are tainting the minds of our youth. In other words, once you become educated in college, you are more leftist. And he says, well, that's because the left is taken over our education system. No, Charlie, I think what it is that people learn things when they go and they study things that they never studied before, and then they say, wait a second, this doesn't really seem very right, and then they change their political ideology. It's crazy. You have an entire foundation set on trying to actually convince people that getting a college education is brainwashing people, as opposed to simply just giving them information that they didn't previously know, which is literally education. That is your entire career is built off of that. You lose basically every debate you're in. You regurgitate the same information in every single debate. Every single time you bring up a point, it is the same points over and over again. You contradict yourself consistently. And you are sitting here saying that Simone is a disgrace to her field. I would just say, maybe take a little look at yourself, Charlie. That's all I'm going to say here. We're done with this guy. I refuse to watch this. I mean, he literally went from saying she's a sociopath, we're raising weak athletes, then said, well, she's an amazing athlete. I never said she wasn't. And then immediately going back and saying she's a disgrace to the nation because those little short commie bastards are beating us. Who gives a fuck, Charlie? Who cares? You literally stand for American money being sent to Israel to incinerate Palestinian children. That is part of your political affiliation. You believe that what our meddling in affairs with Israel or giving them resources to militarize their nation and commit ethnic genocide on Palestinians, you stand for that. Who's really the disgrace to the nation? That is disgusting, dude. Charlie Kirk is unreal. I honestly, when I went into this video, did not think it would be remotely that disgusting. He's calling her who's a sociopath? I've been watching this show called You. You ever hear of that show? It's pretty crazy. It's literally insane. It's a great show, honestly. Haven't been able to stop watching it. But You is a show about a guy who literally just stalks women. And it's like, from his perspective, it's an interesting take. Doesn't feel remorse for anything he does. Literally just murders people. That is a sociopath. So you're equating someone who is literally just taking care of herself and openly admitting, hey guys, I kind of have an issue and I don't feel good enough to participate right now. You are saying that is the equivalent of someone who murders people and feels no remorse for murdering someone. Meanwhile, the irony here, the hypocrisy, is like what I just said. He supports militarizing our country and killing people in other countries every day. And he doesn't feel any remorse. So who's the real sociopath? I don't think either of them are sociopaths, for the record. But if you had to pick between an Olympic athlete who said, hey, I have like a mental health crisis, I'm not going to participate, sorry. Or, yes, please take my American taxpayer money and give it to another nation to ethnically cleanse a nation and commit genocide. That sounds good. That's where I want my taxpayer dollars. If you had to pick between those two, who would you say is more of a sociopath? I'll let you guys ponder that one. Anyways, next on the Yeah.Whatever podcast, we're going to be reacting to something hilarious. It's Tucker Carlson being confronted at a fishing store. This graced the internet, where a man went up to Tucker Carlson and literally just said, you're the worst human being in existence. And I thought it was hilarious. So we're going to go ahead and check that out together. We're going to watch The Majority Report with Sam Seder. If you guys haven't watched this channel, one of my favorite political channels, you should watch. Sam Seder is an awesome guy, so go ahead and watch that if you haven't. But here's his video on this topic.
Carlson was confronted, not in liberal New York City, in Montana. at a fishing shop. This is where he's supposed to be among...
We're going to skip ahead to where this is.
Right? He likes to cosplay.
Dude. Also, hey, so that was just the video I'm going to use. But anyways, you should watch the Majority Report. Great channel. Why is Tucker Carlson in a fishing shop in Montana? A. B. I think if, like, I'm so envious of the guy who got to get in Tucker Carlson's face without, like, any person blocking him or, like, bodyguards or anything. Getting to go up to him and literally say that you are the worst person in the country and that you're a disgrace. Like, I would love to do that to Tucker Carlson. So, for reference, what this guy is talking about, I think, is he's attacking him on how Tucker consistently will spread anti-vaccine rhetoric, and it's literally killing people. And so Tucker Carlson mentions, my daughter's here, and the guy says, I don't care if your daughter's here, you're a disgrace. Super funny. And then Tucker Carlson calls him son, like a guy that's like 20 or like 10 years older than him, way taller than him, is like, okay, calm down, son. And the guy's like, don't call me son. That's awesome, dude. The funny thing too is, like, I don't even think that guy, I'm almost willing to guarantee that dude is probably like a conservative thinking guy. But even then, you can have a conscience. Tucker Carlson does not have a conscience. He's telling people, even though, once again, yeah, whatever, listeners, Tucker Carlson is fully vaccinated. Every single person on Fox News is fully vaccinated. Yet people like Tucker Carlson will tell you not to get vaccinated because it fits their narrative, which they are continually spreading just to polarize the nation. You have people like that, and then you have conservatives who literally are saying, hey, wait a second, I might believe that, like, the government shouldn't spend so much money, but I also don't think that you should literally just be lying to people about the science behind a life-saving vaccine. And because you are doing that consistently, even though you yourself are vaccinated, you are an utter piece of shit. What a great guy, dude. I wish I would buy a whole set of bait and tackle for this dude, man. Where is this fishing shop? Can I go? If there's a chance I can run into Tucker and give him a piece of my mind, I would love to go to this fishing shop. Anyways, that's freaking hilarious. All right, guys, let's do a little quick COVID update. Can we do that? Shall we? Right? It's only fair. So, update, guys. We are not doing good in America. It's not looking good. We are up to about 80,000 cases a day. Louisiana, where some of my family is, it's kind of weird. Louisiana has had, what is it? They have like a lot of less people getting vaccinated, as does a lot of different southern states like Arkansas and like Missouri. So it's weird because like it almost seems like the states that are actually the lowest vaccine rates are the ones that are seeing the highest increase in cases. So that's interesting. I don't know if there's a correlation there. As you can see on this graph here, Louisiana is absolutely getting schlapped. They are currently at, oh my God, look at the red on this map, dude. This is pathetic. Are you kidding me? We literally were down to 5,000 a day. And then all the anti-vaxxers said, no thanks, dog. I would like to exercise my freedom and keep everyone in the same perpetual bullshit forever. Louisiana is getting absolutely schlapped. They are at 90 cases per 100,000. When I visited my family in early July in Louisiana, they were down to 11. So I really did visit at the right time. I'm going to be honest with you. Let's see. I live in Washington State. So if we scroll down, we're at Washington. We're at 13 cases per 100,000. Not too bad, but going up. Not excited. Every state is going up, as you can see, just every state except Guam. That territory, Guam, hang in there, guys. You're doing great. Everyone else, please, for the love of all that is holy, take 10 minutes out of your day and get the fucking vaccine. It is literally free and safe and effective. We are still seeing, okay, so update here. The CDC is now saying that vaccinated people can spread the new variant even if they are asymptomatic, which, hey, that's not great. But, rather than take that and learn from it, conservatives are all getting their panties all in a wad. They are asking, wait a second, brother, if the vaccines work, why are people spreading the virus still if they're vaccinated? Hey guy from Arkansas, let me tell you why. Let me give you a little basic virology, which has literally been beaten into our conscious for the past 19 months, but I'm going to reiterate it one more time for you here. When a virus goes from a vessel, a body, to another body, during that time, the virus is doing everything that it can do to evade anything that is supposed to stop it from reproducing. That is the nature of the virus, to find ways around what we put in place. In this case, the thing put in place was a vaccine which was extremely effective against the original variant of the virus. However, over time, as this virus has continued to bounce between person and person, it evolves because its goal is to continue to exist. Our goal is to get rid of it. Well, clearly not, because the avenue to do so, half the country is not doing it, so that's clearly not our goal. But basically, that is our goal, is to not live with COVID dominating our lives anymore. But the virus's goal is to continue to exist. So what happened? This little thing called the Delta variant, in other words, a virus of the original, turned into a different looking variant of the same base virus. The reason that it changed is because it is trying to evade the treatment that we had for the original virus. So, the current vaccines are still relatively effective against the Delta variant. Hospitalizations, about 98% of all new hospitalizations are from people who do not have the COVID vaccine. However, as these cases rise and as Delta becomes the main variant in this country, those cases will continue to bounce between person and person, and all over again, we will see a new variant. This is how viruses work. The reason that the CDC has gone back on its mask mandate is because when they released the mask mandate, virtually all of the cases were from the original variant, which the vaccine is completely effective against. Now, because of anti-vaxxers and unvaccinated people, the Delta variant, a different version of the same virus, is the dominant variant. This dominant variant is not as affected by our current vaccines. Over time, we will have new variants over and over. And if we do not have enough people vaccinated, which when you're vaccinated lessens the spread of COVID, it will bring down the numbers. If we do not have enough people vaccinated, eventually we will reach a point where our current vaccine is not effective against the new evolved variant. So the CDC has not gone back on its guidance. Rather, when they made the guidance about lifting mask mandates, about saying everything is better, that was because we managed to lower our cases tremendously, and all of the virus around the country was from the original variant. Now, virtually all of the new cases are a different strain of the virus. So, It is not changing their mind. It is reevaluating the situation that we are in and saying, okay, well, now people with the vaccine can spread the virus. So therefore, we should have masks again. That's how this works. Science is a process. You learn things and you adapt to those things. You learn what is the best approach. You do that until you realize there is a different approach, which is better for the situation. So I don't really understand all of these conservatives getting all pissed off because, first of all, hey, if you're not vaccinated, you are literally the reason that this is happening. The reason that we were not able to dead COVID in its tracks, so to speak, is because the new variant spread, and the new variant spread through communities where no one was vaccinated. Wonderful. Thanks, guys. Super great. You want to get the world back to normal, as does everyone, but especially you. You always talk about economic fallout. You know, what are we going to do for our businesses? I don't know. I don't know, man. Maybe if you literally took the vaccine, that significantly slows the spread, and everyone in those communities took it, maybe we wouldn't be dealing with the situation right now, because that's how viruses work. That's all I'm going to say about that, guys. Anyways, it's not looking very good. In good news, though, you know, they are putting up these federal mandates that are telling, you know, federal workers that you have to be vaccinated, as they should, by the way. Why is it controversial to require someone to take a vaccine so that we don't perpetually live in a society which is utterly miserable? Why is that a bad thing? It isn't. That's the thing. It's not a bad thing. Look, man, if you don't want to work for a company that requires you to get vaccinated, just pull yourself up by your bootstraps and get a new job. Just get a new job. Okay? You know, conservatives always say, you know, people in the working class, we don't make enough money, we have no benefits. And then conservatives say, we'll find a real job. Okay, you find a real job. If you're mad that your job is requiring you to get a vaccine, just get a new one. How about that, Snowflake? Woo! And drop the mic. I'm not going to actually drop it, but you can always use logic of conservatives against them, because half of the time it's extremely hypocritical what they're saying, which, if you want my opinion, is literally just part of the conservative definition of like what they believe. It's almost built into conservatism to have blatant contradictions, because the idea behind conservatism and like what they say is almost always contradicted by the same people. So it's almost like part of the definition of conservatism now. Anyways, look at Louisiana getting schlonked. Look at that. They're absolutely getting destroyed by COVID. It's just been so fun, guys, to sit here and watch. You know, it started out in Missouri and Arkansas and Louisiana, and now it's like, okay, wait, now we're like littering through here. Now there's like Florida's really red. Now like all these other places are getting darker. Southern Washington, Northern Oregon, just getting, you know, look at that. They're all red in there. Honestly, I've never wanted to live in Minnesota more. Look at this. This county right here. Where was that? This county's got 1.2 per 100,000. Bro, that's a utopia if I've ever seen one. Their cases are going straight down, probably because like no one lives there, but regardless, that sounds great right about now, living where no other person can ruin my existence. That sounds great to me. Anyways, so that's our COVID update, guys. Thank you for letting me rant and explain to all of any right-wing listeners basic virology and why we are in the situation we are in. And if you listen to what I said and still don't understand, sorry, bro, you're a lost cause. Everyone has been explaining this to you for months now, and if you still don't understand, I really don't know what to do for you. I genuinely don't. So, there's my 2 cents. There's also all these articles about people regretting not taking the vaccine. maybe you could take a hint. If you're not vaccinated yet and you still have been blessed enough not to get COVID, maybe you should get ahead of it and get the fucking vaccine, because most of these people are saying, I should have gotten this vaccine because COVID is horrible. It's a terrible disease and it continues to spread. So maybe you should have the vaccine. Maybe. Right, guys? I mean, come on. My laptop is warming up. It is overheating. Just like me right now. I'm overheating because my window's closed for sound and it's hot in Seattle and I don't have any air conditioning. I just have a heater. That's the heater thing. I don't have any air conditioning, so my computer and I are both overheating from frustration. Also, hey, let's talk about global shit right now, like global cases. I just want to quickly remind everyone that if you think, obviously now the pandemic isn't over. In the United States, things looked so good that we could, in like America, could say like, oh, we're living our normal lives again. Not so much anymore. But if you thought for even a second that the pandemic is over, you are so far from being correct. Because the highest amount of cases was on roughly around April 28th of this year, where we had almost 1 million new global cases in one singular day. We are now at about 650,000. So, like, we are still really high in terms of, like, how high the numbers are in the world. So if you think that we are anywhere close to being out of this, you are so wrong, my guy. And since we have travel restrictions, we could have had a nice little American society where, like, the risk is extremely low. We're doing great, guys. Everything's going to be okay. But then some people who thought that there's robots in the vaccine, who, by the way, tweet from their iPhone, I'm not taking this vaccine because they're tracking my existence. They're tracking me with their vaccines. And then it says Twitter from iPhone, as if every person is not walking around with a tracking device in their pocket, but we don't need to talk about that. Not only that, but also, hey, the vaccine isn't a tracking device. That's fucking dumb. Right, guys? Come on. Use a little common sense. Come on. All right, what else do we have, guys? What else do we have? People are getting vaccinated in secret now. I don't know why. I mean, maybe because they're like ashamed that they took them so long and then they got it and they don't want their friends who like still think that, who still believe in like the letter between P and R. I can't say the letter because YouTube is very sensitive about it, but if they believe in anything that's an O with a dash anonymous, if they believe any of that conspiracy shit, they probably would be upset to learn that their friend gave in and got the vaccine. So that's probably why people are doing it in secret. I don't care if you do it in secret, you could literally do it and never tell anyone you got it, and I would still be happy that you got it. You know, I wouldn't know that you got it, but like it would still carry weight. So if you're listening and you're like embarrassed and you are afraid of people judging you for getting it, just do it in secret and don't tell anyone. It's still important to get it. So I mean, if it's between you not telling anyone and getting it and not getting it at all, I would much rather you just not tell anyone. So that's fine. If people don't want to say that they got it, but they know that they did and they did their part, you know, do your thing, bro. People just need to get it. It's insane. Like, it is insane, dude, that we live in a world right now where we literally have a surplus of vaccines that are probably just being wasted. And we are sitting and everyone's like, God, this existence sucks. What are we going to do? And everyone that's gotten the vaccine is like, you still haven't gotten the vaccine yet? What do you mean, what are we going to do? That's it. That is how pandemics end, is getting people vaccinated against the virus. What do you mean, what are we going to do? It's there. Okay, I'm beating a dead horse here. But yeah, that's my thoughts on that. I think it's insane. So, if you haven't gotten it and you're listening, please, for the love of God, get vaccinated. I'm literally willing to bet my left nut that if you're listening to this and you get vaccinated, that you will not get Guillain-Barré syndrome where you're paralyzed from the waist down like 6 people out of millions of Johnson & Johnson vaccines got. Such a big risk, right? 6 out of millions of people. There's been hundreds of millions of successful vaccination efforts. Most people feel little to no adverse effects, but you know, that small chance that I could have a little tingling in my legs, even if that were to happen, the worst thing ever. That small chance is the reason you're not getting vaccinated. Meanwhile, you're not getting vaccinated and not protecting yourself against a virus which has killed millions of people across the globe.